there. We're recording live at the CMO Alliance Summit right here in London. I have with me Francesco. So, Francesco, before I'll start diving into the questions, would you mind just sharing a bit about your background?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, first of all. I'm Francesco Federico. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at S&P Global. Spent the last 8-9 years in business-to-business marketing, previously in commercial real estate and professional services. And in my first part of my corporate career, I was actually in B2C. So brands like Vodafone, Acer, so more like demand generation and e-commerce focused.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you very much. So, what I would love to ask you is around the whole topic of brand and demand. So, how do we keep these activities aligned together in a manner that it's not brand or demand, but kind of like more an holistic perspective?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important, especially nowadays with all this pressure on budgets, to really get the sign off on brand spend. You really need to demonstrate that even top of the funnel, thought leadership and branding initiatives are actually contributing downstream. And I think one way of doing that is to really look not just at the pipeline generated by marketing, but also look at what we call marketing influence revenues. So all those moments of interactions, from joining an event like this one to looking at reading a newsletter, downloading a white paper, all of these moments contribute to the decision-making process of the clients. And so if you layer in elements like recency, for example, intensity for each of these moments, you can actually build a fairly comprehensive framework that tells you, okay, yes, we have generated this amount of pipeline, but we can be also relevant confidence that we have generated this amount of influence revenue.
Yeah, yeah. Which leads me, by the way, to the next question about how do we do this type of measurement, right? We know that our CFOs really love to see numbers, 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 but how can we bring that, in a meaningful way?
I think it is tough. It is tough. I think it all starts with data. And so I think before trying to measure everything, you really need to get your data right. And by that, I mean, put your data in one place where it can be easily accessed, build that sort of single view of the customer and their behavior. And that is going to be like the bedrock of your measurement capability. And then on top of that, you start layering in all the various tools from analytics to account-based marketing, etc., to really add and capture more insights. And then I would say, most importantly, connect with sales, because there is quite often a bit of breakage in terms of when you generate a lead in marketing, you pass it on to sales. Sometimes it's a bit of a black hole. And that shouldn't happen if you really want to measure everything. And so you need to partner very closely with sales to make sure that you are tracking what happens after sales has qualified the leads, they have interacted with the client, how quickly is the deal progressing, what's the sales velocity up until revenue generation. So I think that having that full funnel is key to measure the impact of marketing.
Yeah, 100% agree. And thank you very much for mentioning that. My next question is around, as you said, there's a lot of pressure currently on CMOs and the role of CMOs is evolving. We know that. How do you balance between the need to, perform and bring kind of like short-term win while still keeping the long-term goals in your mind and, bringing that also to discussion?
This is very true. I think it's not just us as CMOs. I think even if you put yourself in the shoes of a sort of publicly listed company CEO, they have to do the same. They have to deliver for the markets because every 3 months they have to report on the results, but they also need to steer the ship so that it's ready for the future. And I think in marketing is very much the same. So I always make sure team focuses on the BAU, what we call like core marketing initiatives, and protect that time, protect that space, because if we don't hit our numbers, we will not get the budget and the freedom to really experiment everything else. So first, really focus on the core, but then also with the same intentionality with which you are protecting the core, protect the time it takes to innovate. And so create those pods, create those cross-functional teams that can, for example, run pilots. Now, it's all about AI, for example, now. So what we're doing is focusing on revenue generation using more traditional and tested capabilities, while at the same time empowering teams to try AI capabilities and build agents, for example, that will power the marketing team of the future.
Yeah, which leads me, by the way, to the next question about Gen AI and how do you, yeah, on the one hand, keep these traditional work activities and then also experimenting and training and developing the teams as well onto how to really use AI.
I think it all starts for people. And I keep saying the technology is almost the easier bit. What is really important is that you drive an effective change management program. And I think two key takeaways for me are one, curiosity, really foster a sense of curiosity and experimentation in the team, even beyond the office. Encourage them to use these technologies outside of the office because not all approved technologies within the corporate environment are necessarily giving you the full view of AI. So do try those outside of the office as well, and foster a sense of curiosity. And the other one is critical thinking, especially important for the younger marketers now climbing up the ranks of the marketing organization. You need to learn to question what comes out of AI, because you are not going through the same sort of fail and fail again and fail better process that other marketers went through. AI was not around because AI is giving you all the answers. And so having that embedded culture of curiosity and critical thinking, I think is going to be critical.
Thank you very much, Francesco. I really appreciate it and enjoy the rest of the summit.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of CMO Combo. For more content like this, check the recommended videos on your screen now. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a thing.